Hey guys, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're playing the sequel of Medal of Honor on the PlayStation 1, Medal of Honor Underground. This also came out on the Game Boy Advance, but don't play that one. That one's like it almost seems like a Doom mod. It's nothing like this game.
The First World War.
But I really like this game. I think it has better music, and I think it's overall the better game. It has a much more personal story. Instead of just being a hero, it's kind of has like this sad, somber kind of tone to it, at least at first. I mean, this has bigger action set pieces than the first game for sure, but I don't know. I just like the character Manon. I think she's more fleshed out, partially because she was part of the first game through text. And I would love to see a reboot of this. There's not a lot of games that actually cover the French Resistance. I think the closest one I've played that was recent was the Saboteur. That one was probably the closest, which is a great game. I need to cover that, by the way. But I'm gonna warn you, I won't post it if it messes up, but this game is really meant to be played on a PlayStation 1. I've had issues with this game with certain glitches that sometimes happen and sometimes don't on both the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, which is really weird because they're selling this, on the PlayStation Network. And I've not only played this game on several PS3s, but several models of PS3s as well as PS2s. And everyone had like some sort of like glitch to it, and sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't. It just really depends. But this is a great game nonetheless, and I think if you like PlayStation games, I mean, older PlayStation games aren't for everyone. People aren't going to tolerate the graphics. Also, compared to the last Medal of Honor, I turned off smoothing. Maybe that'll help not make it glitch, because you'll run into these parts sometimes on the systems that emulate it, where you'll just have like these black gaping areas that you can't go any further into the level, and then you have to restart the level, and then it might work the second time. So I would highly recommend you play this on the PlayStation 1. I've played 2 different copies of this game on all different systems too, so it's not my copy of the game or something's wrong with it. There's just some incompatibility, and I'm not surprised because this game kind of pushes, I believe, what the PlayStation was capable of doing. I really don't want to turn the sound off all the way like I did with the last video of Medal of Honor, so we'll go back. But I like this game a lot, and I think Manon's a strong character, and if they ever reboot the Medal of Honor series, I'd like to see a comeback of Manon, Jimmy Patterson, and the dude from Medal of Honor Allied Assault. But if I had to pick any of them, I think Manon's like the coolest character with the French Resistance and the whole underground theme and stuff like that. I think that would make a cool modern day first person shooter if done right. The Saboteur was pretty good, and it was open world, but it wasn't really a first person shooter, and it kind of had a tongue in cheek vibe to it, and I don't know, it's not Medal of Honor, it's its own thing. That was kind of like a World War II Grand Theft Auto type deal. I would like to see EA use their DICE engine that they use for their Battlefield games in Medal of Honor, kind of like they did with Medal of Honor Warfighter, which actually had some really cool set pieces in it, and see that applied to a World War II setting. Also, Enemy Front kind of had the underground, but it wasn't the French Resistance underground. Most of that game took place in Poland. But not everybody liked that game, understandably, because it had a lot of technical issues, but I'm running my mouth and you probably want to see the game. Let me make sure the presets are to my liking. You actually can have pretty close to modern first-person shooter controls. Not all the way, but enough where it controls a lot better like a modern game. The first Medal of Honor really didn't do that. You had to play like you would play like Alien Trilogy or Doom, where you had to use the shoulder buttons to strafe, which this has that option. But I mean, this was during a time where some people had DualShock controllers and some people had the original PlayStation controllers that didn't have analog sticks on them. But enough about my talking. Let's start the game and hope that it doesn't glitch, because I've tried to record this video several times with mixed results.
But we have an important new mission.
And that's Manon. You might remember her picture from
the one who keeps asking me about the resistance. He's always saying that he wants to join.
I don't know what you would call it, the text screens of the first game.
But tonight
but anyway, we gotta meet her brother. See, text screens like this. Manon does actually make a appearance in Medal of Honor Allied Assault, actually in person. And I would love to see these characters interact, but if I had to pick like one character's story I would love to see rebooted, it would be Manon. Medal of Honor has such a rich history, and I think it kind of lost its way with all the popular Call of Duty games. Not that those games were bad or anything, but I think Medal of Honor was trying to compete with Call of Duty, and kind of developers kind of forgot what Medal of Honor was about, or the charm of it. I don't think Medal of Honor ever was supposed to be a modern game. When Steven Spielberg proposed Medal of Honor, the whole reason why he wanted to make the game is because he wanted a World War II first-person shooter, because there wasn't really anything out there at the time. Maybe like Wolfenstein 3D or whatever, but I mean, that game's kind of science fiction. It doesn't hold up all that well, but when I played it, some people like it. Again, this game actually has better graphics than, in my opinion at least, than the first Medal of Honor, but I turned off the smoothing, so I'm hoping maybe it'll hopefully run better, because I'll cry if I have to do this video again. Of course, you won't know that. It'll be seamless to you guys, because you'll just see whatever video works. But yeah, this has dual analog controls, which are really nice. At the time when this game came out and I tried the dual analog controls, I was so lost. I didn't know what to do with them. They were so alien to me. And again, this game has health like the first game. That might be a turn off for some of you guys. I don't know why. Just don't get hit, but you know, you can't hide behind like a fucking chair and heal. I think this game, even though I'm sure it has the same amount of colors, the color palette was chosen very well for this game. It has a different look by far, and I think this game really does push the PlayStation. You might not see it in this level or any of the levels in the video, but I mean, when you start going to different countries and stuff like that, you really notice it. But I think if they rebooted Medal of Honor, it should probably stay in France and have like a super detailed version, maybe, and with destructible environments, kind of like they did with the Savage War, but like with the Medal of Honor vibe. But yeah, this has more vehicle set pieces and stuff like that than the first Medal of Honor, but it's a more personal story, the way it starts out. You don't feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger when you're playing it, although Manning is kind of a badass. And she does a lot more hardcore things than Jimmy Patterson, but I guess with the mixture of the music and stuff, it just has a more emotional feel to it. If you listen to the music, it kind of has a, I don't know, a more somber tone. I always love the loading screens of these games. I think they're fantastic, even in its low resolution where it's not smoothed out. And again, I apologize. Last time I recorded this video, I couldn't even get past that level, which was weird because I could any other time. I usually have trouble with this next coming level, and I think I'm pretty sure how to get around this glitch. Hopefully I'll be able to get around it and show you, or it'll be an utter failure. I don't even know if you get that MP40 in this game, but I do like the artwork. It's really good. It'd be cool to have some of those vintage posters, to be honest with you. Taking a sip of my soda, that's why she's stationary. Yeah, I'm pretty sure your arsenal in this game is completely different than the first Medal of Honor. Sorry, I'm stuttering. So we're in the catacombs, which is really cool, which would look really cool if they made like a modern version of it. One cool thing, I know everybody gives it shit, they're skulls, but the textures are kind of hard to tell. You have to realize this game was originally made for a CRT television that was probably a quarter of the size of like what modern people, or what most modern households have. If you're not part of that modern household I reference, I mean no offense by it. Not everybody has any like fancy televisions. I realize that. They used to kill so many people on the gosh, I can't think. One thing I'll tell you offhand, which thing seems to avoid the glitch, which it probably won't for this video. Excuse me, knowing my luck. Is the wait to kill this guy. There's a little bomb you gotta set there. But go past him. In the beginning, it seems really easy to lose ammunition and run out. But anyway, as I was saying, there were so many people killed between like disease, the Black Death going around, and people being persecuted on the guillotine constantly. They actually had catacombs, and they still have them underground. Part of them are accessible to the public, but a lot of them are blocked off so people can't go in there. He's sucked up in a lot of bullets there. Because, I mean, people can get lost to the point where they actually starve to death and stuff. But, I mean, they literally have, like, walls of bones crosshair, depending on when it's leaning against, since I'm colorblind, is somewhat hard for me to see. Because it's like a faint red. Like when it's against this, it's sort of hard. I can still see it, but you know, whatever. So you saw the thing that I avoided. I'm hoping that I'll avoid the glitch that usually starts in this level. Instead of grenades, you usually get Molotov cocktails in this game, which gives you that whole resistance flare. My dog's snoring. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up or not. So if it is, that's what that sound is. I don't know what the deal with my neighbors are, but they're running up and down the stairs like they're running a fucking marathon. There's always fucking noise when I record. The minute I push the stop button, it'll be completely quiet. Again, Medal of Honor always has like great hit animations. It's not just the same animation over and over again. I feel like I should have gotten a machine gun by now. Maybe I already got it. No, I didn't get it yet. I'm probably missing an area. This level is sort of maze-like. Come on, die. To be you in a second. I'm not even gonna worry about it because, you know, I believe that took care of you. There should be a machine gun around here hidden for me. And I believe I was already here. Nothing's better than watching a YouTube video. But anyway, this was always supposed to be the PlayStation's GoldenEye series, and in my opinion, and I guess a few other people's opinions that play PlayStation, since it sold so well, it's like the best first-person shooter. It's unfortunate that it doesn't always run well on the following gen systems like the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. Which is weird because they're selling on a PlayStation store, and maybe they reprogrammed it, but I seriously think they more than likely just dumped the ROM. Is there another way to go up there? I don't think there is. I think it's just that asshole sitting there with the gun. Don't blow him up until you do everything else. I find that makes the rest of the game more accessible. If you blow that person up, it causes this black hole that you can't walk across. And then you basically have to restart the whole level again because the game prevents you from going anywhere. Going in circles. Yep. Could have sworn there's like a machine gun hidden around here somewhere. Come on, let's find it already. Maybe it's here. No, that's where I blew up that guy that was shooting at me. Appears to be a well of some type. But yeah, there's people, I forgot what they call them, that actually illegally go into these catacombs. It's crazy some of the stuff that they find. Like, there's little shrines and like beautiful, like, I don't even want to call it graffiti. It's like legitimate artwork on the walls and stuff like that. He looked like he shot me with one arm with that rifle. Like, he looked like the Terminator when he's on his motorbike. Speaking of motorbikes, this game has those too. This is my favorite PS1 Medal of Honor. Now, if I had to pick an all-time favorite Medal of Honor, even though I'm not a PC gamer, I think I was the most blown away by Medal of Honor Allied Assault on the PC. There was supposed to be an Xbox One port of it, but it never came into fruition, and they just ended up porting Medal of Honor Frontline on the PlayStation. But I think for a reboot, this one has the most potential to be something new and interesting. In my humble, non-important opinion. They're everywhere, aren't they? They can take some bullets, though. I'll give them that. They look so brain dead when you shoot them. I guess they are brain dead when you shoot them dead. But it's like their brain's trying to get control and nothing's happening. I totally missed where that machine gun was, because I do not have it. Oh, I do. I just don't know the control scheme all the way, apparently. Now we're cooking with gas. Bullets, actually. Cooking with bullets. Not the safest thing to do in the world, but we're doing it. I'll just hide behind this and shoot you here. Did you have a buddy? Yes, you did. I like this control scheme so much better than having to aim every time you want to shoot somebody. You almost have to stand in place. I think there's some sort of auto aim implemented in the original Medal of Honor, but I don't think it's like GoldenEye's auto aim. It doesn't feel anything like GoldenEye, and it feels different, which is good, I guess, because it's not GoldenEye, but that's what it was meant to be, a World War II GoldenEye during its conception. I think this control scheme will come in handy. Alright. So maybe now I can blow up the other guy's thing now that we've made it. And hope the game doesn't glitch. I feel like there's another one around here somewhere. Does it tell me how many? No, it does not. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Only problem is, I hope I remember how to get back. Take a shortcut by jumping off of that. Trying to remember these things. This game still has those bullet hole decals where everything looks like it's made out of steel, which is fine. I mean, when you play the later levels, even on the original PlayStation, it's not like an emulation thing. There's like some serious slowdown because you're like fighting half tracks and stuff. You didn't really fight vehicles in the first game. I'm so worried about what's gonna happen, but if something happens, I think we have enough film to have at least a halfway decent video. I just don't want it to mess up, and if you have like a way to play the game, like you're not gonna want to play it because you think it's like a glitchy, broken mess when it's just not all that compatible with the system it wasn't made for. I mean, it's made to be played on a PlayStation 1. There's no getting around it. But I'm hoping, like, the order that I blew everything up in, and me not having the texture smoothed out, I'm hoping that'll actually help the game from not glitching. Because I think that's what I did last time when I got far in the game. But it's like Russian roulette. If you're patient, like, feel free to play it on PlayStation 3. If I remember correctly, PlayStation 2 might be a lost cause, but don't quote me. This game's, you can get mint condition for $5 or under in the case with the book with no scratches on it pretty easily. But I mean, you spend what you think a game's worth, but I'm just telling you that just because there's so many people that take advantage of people who are trying to collect games, trying to tell them that a game's worth more than it actually is on that actual gaming market or whatever. So I'm just saying that so you don't get ripped off. But I mean, if it's a have-to-have game or it's your favorite game of all time, I mean, you probably pay whatever you needed to for it. But market value, this game's probably $5 or less, like, for a mint copy. That's all I paid for it. I own 2 copies of this game because at the time when I bought this for less than, I think maybe it was at $5, I didn't know where my copy was. Since then, like, I found it, and now I feel kind of silly I bought it twice. But you know, I didn't have the case and book, I don't think, after all this time. I mean, when I first got the game, I've got it new, but I mean, I wasn't, I guess, as careful with stuff or collect stuff as much as I do now. I wouldn't consider myself a collector, but I mean, if I have the opportunity to have the case and the book and stuff, I try to take good care of it. And I have been seeking out PlayStation 1 and 2 games and 3 games. I'm not a collector where I have to have every game ever, but I've gotten to the point where I've been seeking out specific things for specific systems, especially older ones. So we got through the catacombs without any problems. So that's a plus. And I got an excellent score. I don't know how, because I feel like I shot mostly people in the arm. But, well, we'll play a little bit of this. I was going to stop the video there, but I think this level gives you another good feel of how this game is. The other level, I don't know, the other levels kind of didn't seem as action-packed, but I mean, it's more about being part of the underground. But like I said, later on in the game, it's way more action-packed than the first game. But right now, this is really before, like, in the game's story, which this game is pretty lengthy for a first-person shooter, to be honest with you. Like, basically, the OSS finds Manon, and then she goes all across the country or whatever. Or across the world, saying country. She doesn't stay in France forever. She like goes to Africa and Greece, and those are really the only places I remember offhand, because I haven't played this in a while. See, destroyed. Well, I don't know what. I don't want that. Thanks. Destroy the newspaper. That's some newspaper. Might be shot with a machine gun. Feel free to shoot again. Are any of you assholes hiding over there? Yeah. It's pretty accurate for the type of gun that it is. We got a glitch. I'm gonna stop here, but this is the kind of stuff you might run across when you play PlayStation. Last time I played this level, it played flawlessly, but I mean, if you play on a PlayStation 1, you're not gonna run into these problems. But if I restart this mission, more than likely it would run fine. So make sure when you play this game, if you do play it on PlayStation 3, to make sure you save your game. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy. But this is Medal of Honor Underground. Like I said, it's a great game. It's my personal favorite Medal of Honor on PlayStation 1. I like it significantly more than the Medal of Honor, even though that game's great as well on PlayStation 1. And like I said, it's probably best to play it on PlayStation 1 as it doesn't emulate all that well. It's not impossible to get through on the PlayStation 3, but you might find yourself restarting the game a few times. So if you do get the game, I highly recommend you getting the disc and playing it on a PlayStation 1. Just warning you ahead of time, there's not a lot of coverage of it glitching on the internet. I'm surprised like more people aren't talking about this, and I know it's not me because like I said, I've played it on different systems with different discs. So I don't know, nobody's really talking about it. Maybe the one on PlayStation Network is fixed or made to run on the PlayStation 3. I have no idea. I don't want to tell you anything because I don't know. But I really think that they dumped the ROMs in it because they like give you a warning at the beginning when you play the PlayStation Network games that it's not intended to originally run on the system, yada yada yada, and may not play the same. So maybe they don't test it. I can't give you a straight answer. But anyway, if you liked this video, please click the thumbs up button and feel free to leave comments. I know there's quite a few of you that subscribed, or I know it's not a huge channel, but like the amount is a huge amount to me. Like I couldn't fit that many people in my apartment, so it's a lot of people to me. I would love to hear from all of you and get to know some of you. Like, I mean, that's what the whole video game YouTubing community is all about. But thank you guys so much for watching, and feel free to leave a comment, positive or negative. If you choose to leave a negative comment, make sure the criticism is constructive and you're not trying to be mean to me or anyone else commenting on the channel. Thank you guys so much, and you already know how to do it, but I'm putting the idea in your head anyway. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. If you don't, feel free to look at my other videos, so I'll eventually win over all of your hearts or minds or whatever. I'll win you over to make you want to subscribe. But yeah, and to all those who have subscribed and supported the channel, thank you so much. This is one of the best first person, if not the best first person shooters in my opinion on the PlayStation 1. If you're into collecting PlayStation 1 games and you have a PlayStation 1, I would definitely recommend looking into picking up this game, especially if you have a PlayStation 1, because that's going to play the game without glitches. This game does have slowdown later on in the game, but it's not game-breaking slowdown. It just pushes the PlayStation to its limits. Anyway, that's a mouthful. I think I've said enough about this game. Great game. I would love to see this game rebooted in on a modern console with a modern engine and a retelling of the story. And I would love to see Min and actually talk and see cutscenes as her as a character and everything. She just seems very interesting. And this is actually loosely based on like events in real life. They actually have a lady interviewed during the credits of this game talking about being part of the French Resistance. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I'm talking too much. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.